Hey there everyone, Steven here with you guys again. And tonight I'm going to be talking about something that was requested to me. So, I'm going to be talking about where I've been, what I've been doing for the past few years. Well, 2011, 2012, I went ahead and went to Southern Nazarene University down in Oklahoma for college. Well, when I left Southern Nazarene University, I went ahead and went to Capitan, New Mexico to work at this awesome campground called Bonita Park Camp and Conference Center. And I had a lot of fun there. I enjoyed working there. I enjoyed the people I worked with. I enjoyed what I was doing. So why did I leave? Well, simple. I left because there was a fire that came through the campground and pretty much burned most of it. I think pretty much there was just like one section that it didn't burn down. So I really didn't have a job to do. So I went ahead and moved in with a guy. There was one of my coworkers from Bonita Park. Him and his fiance invited me to live with him and his family. So I did. I went ahead and moved out there. And I got a job at a restaurant, started working there. A couple months later, they went to college down in Texas, leaving me alone with his family. Well, it's not that I didn't get along with his family. I loved his family. It's just that I didn't really have any other friends there. So pretty much all I was doing was going to work and coming home. Kind of boring. So I went ahead and moved back to Oklahoma. I moved in with a guy that I met through my college, and it wasn't the best living situation, so I talked with one of the girls that I was working with at the time, and her and I moved in together into a 2-bedroom apartment in central Oklahoma, and I mean, we were happy that we were both out of our previous living situations, but the apartment that we moved into was very, very questionable. That's a whole different story, though. But we moved into that apartment, and then when we realized that the particular area that we were in wasn't that great, and the apartment was just basically a shack, we were just like, no, we've got to move out of this apartment. But at that point, we realized we didn't really like living with the other one, so we decided, all right, well, we're going to go our separate ways. So I went ahead and moved in with another person that I worked with, her and her family. They had a garage that they let me stay in. And I mean, it wasn't like a garage, it was a refinished garage, or a repurposed garage, to where it was like an actual room. It was just, there was no carpet, let's put it that way. But, and she moved in with someone else. I don't know who she moved in with. But it ended up that I enjoyed where I was staying for the most part. And I ended up also staying with my best friend Ben at the same time. So I was kind of living at two different places in one. And it ended up that my work started getting really, really stressful for me, because instead of actually being honest with our customers and being upfront with them, the company decided, well, since we're going through all these changes and everything and we don't really have an answer, go ahead and lie to them. Tell them that there's nothing you can do. Tell them, which, I mean, there really wasn't. That was honest, but pretty much everything else was a lie. So it was just, do I want to work here, or do I want to go ahead and be a better person? And when I started having trouble with a few of the supervisors, I was just like, yeah, no, it's time for me to move on. So I went ahead and gave my 2 weeks notice. And I got a call from my sister. And long story short, her and her husband invited me to go live with them in North Carolina. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, except for the fact that I don't have the money or a car. And she was like, well, don't worry, we've already taken care of that. So the next day at midnight, I was on my way to North Carolina. I went ahead, moved in with them, got a job. Things were starting to go good for me. And then it just, nothing. I mean, it went from going great and me being happy to just everything just kind of falling apart. And that's when my uncle came into the picture. My uncle Kim and Aunt Becky. I knew who they were, and I knew them a little bit, but I really didn't know them. And I didn't even think to ask them for help or anything. So when things started falling apart in North Carolina, my Uncle Kim and Aunt Becky called me up, and they're like, well, hey, why don't you talk to us about what's going on? We'll talk about it. We'll see what's going on. Well, it ended up that they invited me to go live with them. They had a spare bedroom that was available, and, I was just like, all right, sure, why not? Get a new start again. So by this point, I'd gone from Oklahoma to New Mexico, back to Oklahoma to North Carolina, and I moved up to Illinois. Moved in with them, got a really good job, and it ended up not working out. I wasn't what they were looking for in an employee, and I will admit that was my fault. I kind of messed that one up. But either way, my aunt and uncle were really good to me. They gave me a place, gave me food. Anytime I needed help, they helped me. Anytime I needed something, if I couldn't afford it, they would go out and get it for me. Literally, they were just great. I was very happy where I was, and things were going good. Well, when I got fired from my one job, it kind of set me over the edge. I was done, and at the time I was dating this one girl, and I was talking with her about it, and it ended up that I moved in with her and her family. Well, now, guys, here's the thing. If you're thinking about moving in with a girl and her family, don't. Because I gotta say, that was probably the dumbest mistake that I could have made. I moved in with them, and things were going great for a little while. Yeah, it was going great. And then, all of a sudden, I found out a few things, and she ended up breaking up with me, and due to certain things being misinterpreted, they ended up kicking me out. Well, I went back to my aunt and uncle's house, and they were there for me. They literally helped me out. I didn't have any place to go, and my uncle took me to this homeless shelter, which, hang on, it wasn't like a normal homeless shelter. It wasn't like, you go to those ones and it's just like, whoa, I mean, these guys are basically in jail without being in jail. It wasn't like that. This one is one of those ones where they actually help you get a job. They help you get on your feet. They help you get food stamps if you need them. Same with medical benefits if you need them. This is one of those places that's actually dedicated to helping their clients. And he knew that, and he knew the director, and so he was like, look, yes, it is a homeless shelter, but at the exact same time, I think this is really going to help you. Well, 5 months later, it finally paid off. I was started in October, and left there in March. So, it didn't, at the time when I was there, I was just like really pissed off, and I did not feel comfortable there. But anytime I wanted my aunt and uncle to, come around, they would, as often as they could, as being that I wanted them to be there. They would, be like, hey, what's up? They would always let me come over during the day. Whenever I wasn't allowed to be at the shelter, they would let me come over. And it was great. And so it's not like they kicked me out and kicked me to the curb and whatever. No, what they did was they were like, you know what, look, this is what's going to help you. And at the time, I was thinking, all right, I doubt it. But then, looking back on it now, I'm like, man, they really knew what they were talking about. And so, it helped me really a lot. I got a job. Now I have an apartment, fiance, the whole 9 yards. And it's really working out. And I don't think this would have happened had it not been for my aunt and uncle helping me get into the right program where I needed to be. Now, if there's any couple of points that I can pull out of this whole last few years, number one, just because things are looking gloom doesn't mean you need to quit. There's going to be a hard time every once in a while, but you got to just keep fighting. There's you've got one of two choices. Either A, keep fighting and come out on top and see your life and be like, hey, I'm a better person. Or B, go ahead and give up. Your choice. And the second one is, me, I'm the kind of guy that I don't really like asking for help. But when someone's offering you help, if you really need help, take it. It's not that I'm saying, okay, well, just take advantage of everybody, but my aunt and uncle and brother and sister, they were there for me when I needed someone to be there for me. They offered me help, and had they not been there to help me, I honestly don't know where I would have been. So, I mean, personally, I would like to thank all the family members and friends that have helped me over the past few years. And I would just really like to encourage you guys, if you're ever in a spot of trouble and your family or your friends offer to help you out, let them, okay? Now, that doesn't mean just take advantage of them. Pay them back as much as you possibly can. So, yeah. But that's basically where I've been for the past few years, what I've been doing. I've been bouncing around from place to place, job to job. But thanks to my aunt and uncle and my brother and sister, now I've got a stable place, job, the whole 9 yards, and everything is working out. So, yeah. Yeah, like I said, though, this video was a request from someone. This person knows who they are. And for those of you that would like to see something or know something about me, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Also, go over to my YouTube channel and leave a comment down below, or whatever. Send me a message. Go ahead, like it up, and subscribe if you haven't. And I just realized how awesome my chair is against the background. Sorry. Yeah, anyways, so, yeah, go ahead. And if you're ever in New Mexico and you're down near Capitan, go ahead and check out Bonita Park Camping Conference Center. Best zipline that I've ever been on, and some of the best food that I've ever had. So, yeah, go ahead and like them up, and catch you next time.